All right, let's get this party started. Welcome back to another stream with Fish and Pips. It's September 19th, beautiful Monday morning. Um, we're back, baby. We didn't stream Friday. Didn't even look at the charts Friday because it was Friday. There was news, and I didn't feel like sitting through it. And we had a bit of a consolidation last week, so CPI kind of really messed everything up. We do have news Wednesday. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but interest rates come out Wednesday. Um, I'm predicting higher interest rates, right? Given that maybe the inflation wasn't low enough for them. Obviously it isn't, so they need to raise interest rates a little bit. And that can cause the market to do the dance. Real quick, if you look at all three indices, right? US 30, SPX, and Nasdaq, we can see, right? US 30 has broke the last week's low here, right? This was last week's low. It was broken. S&P, same thing, broke down. Nasdaq did not, right? Nasdaq kind of made a lower high, and did not break. So let's look at the daily. What we're looking for, right? Clearly, the bias is bearish. We've been selling off for a while now. We do need a pullback. I think we do need a pullback. However, these are the lows I'm looking at. Right, if you go on your daily chart, you'll see these peak lows here, across all three indices. That's what we're looking at. Price, I do want to see get there. I'm not sure when it will get there, but that is an area of interest that I'm looking at. It's good to keep in mind that for S&P and Nasdaq, we have come off order blocks. It sold off pretty sharply, so to come in with the bias of shorts, it makes complete sense. Being that US 30 and S&P have taken out last week's low, there is a good possibility this kind of starts the pullback for the week, to continue short, or they just continue short. They don't always have to pull back. I just think with an expansion, with an expansion like this, and all last week we sell off, I think we're primed for a pullback of some sort. But we'll see. Market can really do whatever it wants. So Nasdaq is in that situation again as last week, where we have yesterday's high and yesterday's low. These are really good for trades when we're ranging like this, but we need one side taken out first, right? So I would need yesterday's lows taken out or yesterday's highs taken out to even consider taking a trade on that. Whether that be to continue higher, but what I'd really be looking for at these levels is some type of breakdown, right? A break of structure and a retest of fair value gap, breaker, it doesn't matter, to take the trade. But until then, Nasdaq's out of the picture because we're consolidated. S&P, now S&P, they've taken out last week's low here. They've broken up and they've retested, right? So this was kind of already the play if you were early trader, or weren't like me, and I'm the type of guy I'm gonna wait till 9:30, right? So I'm not even on the charts for this, so this is gone, right? But if you were on the charts, and you don't really have a care in what time you trade, you just want to trade, yeah, this is a valid setup, right? Taking out liquidity, breaking structure, and retesting the gap. So that's good. Now what I'd be looking for bond open is kind of a continuation off that, right? Because now that we've already taken out yesterday's low, I'd be looking for yesterday's high to be taken. Right, we got Asia highs here, relative equal, so that's something I'd be aiming for. What I'd be looking for is, okay, will they break up higher? Right, we've already broken structure. Can they get the retest of the gap? They might not, but we'll have to wait and see. That's S&P. US 30, same thing, taking out yesterday's low, drop down, dude broke structure, retested, not really to a gap, right? This is our gap, and it was left open. No gaps up here for US 30, so there's really nothing like based off continuation. We'll just have to wait and see here, right? Them leaving this open though, right, with these lows. Okay, there's a good chance we come down, sweep those lows, defend this. Alright, but we'll have to see. In the meantime, I think we have news at 10. Right. I honestly don't think that's gonna hold the market up too much. I hope not. Um, but if we can get a play by bond open, kind of be out by 10 o'clock, that'd be perfect. Um, if not, I mean, it is what it is. Tomorrow we got 8:30, 8:30 news. Which is good for the rest of the week. It's pretty much all packed in on one time, so it's not spread out too much. So we got 8:30 news, housing permits. We should be able to get a play by 9:30. Wednesday, I'm going to stay off. Wednesday, you will probably not see a stream from me. It's just pointless to even try to get in something at bond open. Because what tends to happen with big news days like this is they're gonna really manipulate price up until the time of the news drops, right? So you may see your setup, but it's not going to be as volatile. Um, they throw stop hunts, there's no real expansion up until the news really drops. And even when the news drops, guys, I've haven't been too successful on interest rate days. Um, so I'm going to let the market do what it wants to do on Wednesday, and we'll come back Thursday to kind of see what it did. Thursday, jobless claims 8:30. That's perfect. We can definitely get it played within bond open. And Friday 9:45 and a speed. Really action-packed week. We'll be looking to see what interest rates do. Like I said, I definitely think they'll go higher. That's also the consensus. So we'll just see what happens with the market. Bitcoin kind of melted off the face of the earth yesterday. Yeah, it melted crazy yesterday. I definitely think we'll be seeing like 17.5 or this was already kind of taken out last week and the rally. And this is nice though because for the gap nicely. Take 50% of that gap. No, not much more has to really be said there. Of things selling off. Yeah, that was nice. Wow, guys, I don't even know how long this was going on, but I had the chat filter settings to, I don't know why it was set to a different setting, but I couldn't see the live chat. So the past, I don't know, last week and today, I I I didn't realize I didn't have live chat on. So if anybody was in the comments, even though I was telling people like, "Yo, tell me in the comments what's up," because the comment section was dead. I honestly don't know what people were saying, but now I do. So what's up, Brandon? Top of the morning, man. Welcome to the stream. I'm pretty sure you're on here almost every day. So I appreciate the love, man. Yeah, all last week I was like, man, this nobody's talking. What's up? But we're all here. Yeah, man. Like all last week I was like, hey guys, drop in the comments. What you think. What what charts you're looking at, and chat was crickets. I mean, well, I didn't even have the chat up. That's the thing. I thought I did, but yeah, something had to be up or just too focused. Yeah, so I mean, what I would kind of want to wait for on US 30 at least is a break of this structure, right? I don't want to see this get broken and then a retest to kind of continue higher, even though we're not as close to the lows here. I want to see how we're gonna react. GU buys. Let's see the G. Now what I'm gonna do, right? Because this is last week's low, and I'm on the daily chart. So we got last week's low here, right? This was Friday's close. What would be prompting me for wanting to buy would be a sweep of these lows. Now, if you're up right now, cool. I just looking at the daily chart and how it's been selling off. I'd kind of want to see how they react off of the previous week, right? Kind of get like a going to here. Path. Right, so I want to see like a stop hunt here, whatever. Now we got structure. Okay, we either make a new low, let's say we defend it. Okay, now we break structure. Then, okay, where's our gap or whatever you look for a retest. Okay, we got a retest. That's where, my entry would want to be anywhere in this area here. And then right? Aiming for side. Then it looks something like this. Right? That's kind of what I would be looking for. Now you can kind of see on like the smaller time frames, right? The 5 minute, we do get that break of structure. It's just we didn't come off of any liquidity, right? So it makes these lows very vulnerable, in the sense of, yeah, we bought up, but there's a really high chance that we come sweep these lows, especially being that we got last week's low here, so they kind of do this on purpose to get people in. Um, but if you got in this long, like I assume, right? Um, you got up a decent amount. Mosley, what's going on, bro? Welcome to the stream, man. But yeah, that's this is what I would be like looking for on GU, in terms of last week's low, and then boom. That's what I was looking at, but this is true. I was waiting that gap to be. Yeah, I would kind of just want to wait and see, are they gonna clear these lows, or defend them? If they defend them, I'd kind of be scratching my head, but yeah, I'd want to see these lows get swept. Get you EU breaking down. EU has its low here. I think it's from daily chart. I think when they were selling off that CPI, I thought maybe they'd want to get to this low. Look at last week's low as a potential chalk. Now EU, I definitely like this break of structure here, right? Lot of gaps, very choppy. What do the 4 hour kind of see? So now we got that break of structure in the H1, H4. We got that gap fill, right? Perfectly. Now what I would want to see at this point, right? We got a gap fill, break of structure, drop down. I'd kind of be waiting for the same thing here on the smaller time frame, right? So here on the smaller time frame, we got our break of structure, our gap. So what I would be looking for here is something like this, right? Let's just say we got in here. Stop loss above the high, TP, these. kind of like a 1 to 2. But like this is kind of the thing you can do, right? On the higher time frame, whatever you're looking for on any time frame, right? You break that down on every time frame. So if my setup is a breakup structure and a retest to a gap, obviously the higher probability plays are going to come when I see that on, H1 or H4, and then I start to see it on the 15 or the 5, whatever my entry time frame is, right? Then I can really lock in because I'm like, okay, on the H4 it did the same thing, right? Broke structure, retested to a gap, right? This is the gap. Now on the 5 minute, we broke structure here and retested to a gap. On top of that, we failed to make new highs, right? So this is a nice play, and I think obviously, right, we can reach these lows, right? Last week's lows, obviously, but if you're talking, okay, what's like really probable and what's gonna cause less of a headache? These lows right here, right? Um, One, it's directly under where price is going, and two, right? Once we get here, we're more likely than not going to pull back some because we've taken out liquidity. So it's like, okay, do I want to sit through that pullback or I just want to hit and get out? That's kind of what I look for. But we'll revisit this, kind of come back and wait and see what happens. The US 30, how they kind of failed to break that structure there. Like I said, Nasdaq is a bit consolidated, right? They haven't taken out yesterday's low or yesterday's high. Well, last week's low, right? So I'd be wanting to see yesterday's low taken out. That would kind of be in sync with S&P and US 30. We got 5 minutes until bond open. What I would like, if I could, is a setup here to go short. And now it's short right into yesterday's low. And that would be the play. If we zoom in, we do have this gap. At that point, I'd be looking for, entry here, stop loss above. And yesterday's low would give us a 1 to 4. I'm in at 0.99896. Okay, so yeah, you got in pretty much right where, 896 during while it was selling off. But if I was looking at EU, I would have got in relatively around the same on the pullback and gap. Kind of see how EU is playing around at this point. Now with Nasdaq and this idea, uh, well, while I would say okay, I could take the short to yesterday's low. Um, it's risky, right? The reason why I say it's risky is because we're in a range in general, right? So for me to say they're gonna go to yesterday's low from this point is kind of iffy because there's a good chance they can go up and take out yesterday's high. It's kind of like the same thing as last week, um, where they were playing around in this range, right? And I think it was, I want to say, I tried taking a short around here, thinking they were going to go to yesterday's low. They ended up ripping up. Didn't take out yesterday's high either, but you know they ended up going short. But when you get that same situation here, it's kind of like, you know, it's iffy. The S&P blew past that gap. I'm pretty sure. Got 2 minutes until bond open. We'll kind of wait and see. And no rush. So I really see something that looks nice. I'm gonna have to give you a minute to give nice price action. This was nice. Break of structure, retest to a gap here. We've been sitting a little bit, but damn, I should have traded EU. All right, so we got bond open here. Now we do got this gap on US 30, but if they break this, it's kind of fishy to me. Really nothing here yet. We do got this gap here in Nasdaq as well, which I think they might favor. Nothing too enticing yet. I'll be honest. So we're in that gap. Why it pays to be patient and wait and kind of see. So, right, that would have been a loss had we just reacted. US 30 has now breaking structure. And of course, they never fail to just leave an enormous range. Kind of have to guess where they're going to stop at. I guess his EU is banging out. Oh. I have a feeling it's New York reversal. Yeah, I mean, oh, for EU. I'd still favor downside. Yeah, I would still favor the downside. Even if we just look at the daily, we got a gap fill here. Right, we got last week's low. H4, we got this gap. We've already taken out topside liquidity here. That still favors short. Now this is where they okay. If they do want to turn, if they break structure, right? And then give a retest. Right? I already see a gap here, but only if they break structure. They did not break any structure, right? So got this gap fill on US 30, but you know stop loss placement is out of pocket. So, I'm not interested in that. So far, nothing really going on. They're bullish, but haven't really given anything. Guess what I didn't notice is we got these London buy stops here. I'd be attacking on US 30 and SPX. London buy stops. Man, it would have been nice if US 30 could have got into that gap. So we do got news at 10. Um, I think at this point, with there not really being much opportunity to get in anything, 10 o'clock might be our best bet. Kind of wait and see what's going to happen there. I think it has to do something with home sales. The housing market index. EU still kind of just sitting there. Still haven't broken structure. UCAD. So UCAD, we got this gap. Or we got this gap on UCAD. And then 50%. I'd want to see if they tagged 50% of that. This. Alright. Right, anything that would give me 1-3, 1-4. Damn, this thing is. What? Damn. Hey, UCAD? See you? Caught me by surprise. So there's 50% of that gap. Right, if we were to get in, let's just say theoretically, right, stop loss below. Yeah, this like these are gap fills, whatever. Um, it's just like there's where am I putting my stop, right? I did like I'd want to put my stop at lows, and it's just like the risk reward is not worth it at all. So EU is back up into that gap. bought from that gap fill. G. Oh, this gap fill, huh? Wow. That's interesting. I thought with last week's low being there, they'd kind of want to go for it, but hey, they got the gap fill and ran up. Guess I was wrong on that. EU, right? At this point, like if you were kind of to set and forget, okay, yeah, you wouldn't have been stopped out yet. But if I was actually looking at this, like at this point, I would have gotten out. Granted, our stop still hasn't been hit, right? We're still in this gap. We have broken structure, like we were looking at. Right, we've officially broken structure. Got that gap fill. Seeing how GU is buying up, there's a good chance EU does the same thing. UCAD obliterated that gap. Tell you what, I'm glad I'm not placing these trades. They're all ideas. Sebastian, what's going on, bro? Yeah, guys, like anything I say on stream, unless you actually see me like opening my magic keys and taking it, like they're all just ideas. Um, take them with a grain of salt, I guess is what I could say. EU though, like not a bad play. One minute sell off. US had Ray took weekly highs. Did take weekly highs. This UCAD's on the up and up. So we did take last week's high. We'll see though, right? Because we still got like this is the whole gap. Yeah, they blown past that gap, so this trade's kind of chalked. EU, you're seeing some drawdown right now, but appreciate everybody getting on and showing love though, man. Like, damn, 35 views. Um, we usually peak at like 45, 50 average views, but like during stream, 35 is crazy. I appreciate it. 36 now. GJH4 gap, what you think? What do I think? Here, go to the daily. Be honest with you, I don't have an opinion on GJ. I see both sides, right? Like broken up, and we got the retest. Here's our gap. And I also see we broke structure to the downside. Right? And if we look at structure, we've broken down. So I guess in this box, right? If I were to look at just this box, what's going on? Just say we got the H4 gap, right? At this point, what I'd be waiting for is, sure you guys already know, a break of structure, right? So I'd be waiting for a break, right? Obviously of these highs, and then a retest. But other than that, right now I wouldn't be taking any. I hope that if there's one thing uh people can gather from my stream, right? Because I'm not gonna be that type of guy who uh just wants to entertain by taking a shit ton of trades. It's the realism of trading, and that not every day is gonna be a play. And if we gotta sit here, we gotta sit here. You know what I mean? That's just the reality. And that's what I like, right? Is especially if I'm watching somebody is the understanding that there isn't gonna be something every day, right? And even if there is, you just gotta be real with yourself sometimes and ask yourself if that was even something worth how do I say it? Like if we look at US third, like the indices, right? They've bought up, but there really wasn't anything to take, right? We got no gap fills here. Nasdaq is kind of out of the picture, right? We didn't take out any highs or lows, so we're still in consolidation. Uh, S&P and US 30, yeah, they took out lows, but they didn't hit our gap. They just ran up. Okay, they gave a little gap fill here, but as far as stop loss, yeah, maybe it would have worked, right? Stop loss below the low and aiming for the highs, right? It doesn't matter. At the time though, stop loss placement here it didn't look nice. Getting in up in here and then bearing the drawdown of them potentially coming to fill this gap, and then really being pissed off if they came and filled this gap, while I was in there. So I'm cool. You know what I mean? S&P, same thing, right? Yeah, they didn't even give a gap fill. Right? They left it. So there's nothing there. And that's it. You know what I mean? That's it. We're not chasing. We're not looking for reversals. Simply letting the market do what it wants to do. When we see something that makes sense, then we'll react. Right? I can see Nasdaq making sense if we take out yesterday's high. Right? If we take out yesterday's high, I'd be looking for something. I'd be open to looking for. At this point, though, there's nothing. I'll be right back, though, fellas. Give me a second. All right. Like every time I look at you, it hasn't moved. Yeah, it's wild to me that we didn't come for these lows. Yeah, so UCAD would have stopped us out. DJ, like I said, I'd be wanting to wait for like a break of structure. I want to go higher. So news in 40 seconds. gap was nice. While there could be trading opportunity there, I think I'm gonna just sit. All right, same here. Gap fill could be stop loss below. But I'm that news has officially dropped. Put this on Nasdaq. We got them on all of them, but I'm gonna stay off Nasdaq, just being that it hasn't taken out a high or a low. This was this is nice. Breaker structure, gap fill. We've missed that train already though. Same thing on S&P. Yeah, I'm very hesitant on it only because these big buy ups. They fill that gap, I'm pulling. I'm thinking the same thing, but it's like, I don't know. I think I'm gonna sit on my hands for this. So we filled the gaps. Yeah, we're cool. We're cool off all that. Ideally, what I would have wanted to see, like for them to sell it to me, was a nice run away from it. And obviously, like, had we taken out like liquidity, like these equal highs, maybe. I think that's London. So we're already taking out London. Again, US 30, like no gap fill, nothing. S&P, this might work here. This gap fill, stop a little low. Kind of frisky though. It's like where all this action is relative to where, right? This is our entire gap. Kind of leaves everything for chance. Pulled Nas. Short or long? Oh, okay. Nasdaq looks nice. Only reason why I'm kind of hands off on Nasdaq though is they didn't take out anything. Um, like I just see sideways. And take out a high or a low. Like anything in between for me is kind of just 50-50. I don't feel like my odds are in favor. US 30 gave what SPX gave it kind of ugly, but US 30 broke above and then gave that gap fill. It didn't fill it all the way, but it gave a nice little touch. think it's still bullish though. Yeah, 100%. I think everything's still bullish. Just going to yesterday's high. Yo, EU has not moved. It's insane. I'm content with sitting on my hands at this point. Just we haven't taken anything today. Session's kind of almost over, at least for me. And yeah, like I'm you know I'm in no rush for anything. Like I don't think taking shorts or longs and where any of these pairs are right now, it's kind of iffy, right? Because we have a large range in terms of gaps, and potential of what they have to fill, right? I at least look for 50%, but in these terms, right? The shorts, okay, they had a nice breakdown, but you have these gaps to, right? So probability isn't too high, and they haven't taken out liquidity. Longs, I don't think they pulled back just enough to want to look long. Now we did get these breaks of structure, right, and the retest to the gaps, so it made it okay, but it wasn't budging for me. SMP would have worked had we taken it, but let's see where we are with yeah, slightly close to yesterday's high. With yesterday's high on all of them. Let's just see how this would got in this gap. 1 to 2. Ah, Yeah. I feel like at this point it's just forcing anything really. Would have been nice, gap fill. Gap fill in US 30 as well. Nasdaq being so close to yesterday's high, it's not really worth it. Yeah, so we've already missed that. Yeah, see, risk 1,000 to make 12. Cool. Very, very sus price action. How they don't run away and then just kind of come back. Yeah, I'm cool on that gap fill. GU, nice gap fill. Here. EU, the long awaited trade just to get, potentially stopped out. What was that? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35 minutes. Pushing on 40 of just sitting here. Even upside potential if you're long, like you'd still be sitting there. Yeah, see how they're kind of going like back and forth at this point. It's like now US 30 has his gap fill. Say we were getting in on that gap fill. Stop loss was low. Be not even a 1-to-1, 1.5 for yesterday's high. So that's chalked. That's chalked. It's good on days like this to practice the hardest thing there is to do as traders, and that is to simply not trade. Probably the hardest thing to do. BTC had a nice turnaround off that low. Breaks the structure. Yeah, Nasdaq is just playing. Playing. That's why I don't like taking trades when liquidity. There's that gap fill on US 30. Like I said though, with stop loss placement and yesterday's high, that would have been like a 1 to 1.5. 1% risk, 1.5% reward. It's just not. It's not my thing. It's not my thing. I would need something a lot. Yeah, that may. Nah, like 1 to 2, 1 to 3, something that makes it worthwhile sitting in. But 1.5 reward, they can keep that. I'll be right back though. All right. Looks like they're kind of gonna BS their way up to Yesterday's high. Realize I fucking hate indices. Love-hate relationship. Yeah. Yep. Love-hate relationship indeed. When it goes smooth and it just runs to your TP, man, it's the best. It's the best thing there is. The only thing you want to trade. And in the moment it starts doing the dance like this, yeah, like get off the dance floor. You know what I mean? Just garbage. Um, but like with time, you start to realize things like that. US 30 would have been nice indeed, but the risk reward just wasn't worth it. It was nice here, right? I wish they would have came out a little bit more, like S&P did. Right, S&P gave it nicely. Um, well, they overshot it a little bit, but like we talked about in previous streams, right, with gaps, um, see how the bodies respect the gap, right? That's still a valid gap. Stop loss below the low, right? Still would have been a nice trade. I think. See, that one was like a 1 to 60 yesterday's high. This would have pissed me off though if I was in through this pullback, but gonna kind of let everything run its course. Nasdaq is just hideous. Not too far away from yesterday's high. But by that time, I'll be off. I'll probably look for something later in the afternoon after lunch hour. 1, 2 o'clock. I'll probably come back on the charts. Kind of see where everything is. Right, because it looks like they're just sitting here. So 1, 2 o'clock, we'll see if we're near yesterday's high. And if that's the case, especially Nasdaq, I would love to see it yesterday's high. Reason being, we haven't taken out the low yet, right? So I really want those lows on. But all right, guys, that's gonna be it for me. Appreciate everybody getting on the stream today. Like I said, 49 views like in one sitting, man. I appreciate the love. That is crazy. I think this is the most views that we've had since we've started the streams this year. So I really can't thank you guys enough, man. And I appreciate the comments and communication we got going on. I really love it. As always, guys, make sure you subscribe, like, comment, turn the post notification bell on, man, so you guys will know when I'm on stream every time. Because there's not, I don't post it on my Instagram too much when I'm live. I kind of like to see who has their notifications on because they just joined. and I love it. So appreciate you guys today, man. Hope you guys had a good trading session. If you sat on your hands, good for you. If you took a loss, get off the charts. If you took a win, get off the charts, right? You don't need to be on any much longer. You did what you had to do. Appreciate you guys, man. Have a great day. Peace.